something happened. Although she tried as hard as she could and she scrambled and cajoled and sweet-talked and hollered, my heart does truly go out to her. This time my mother could not make the mortgage and they're foreclosing this house and kicking the Torekelsons out of Pyramid Corners, Oklahoma forever. Yay!
Mama, when we get to Seattle, are the killer wolves of the Great North gonna eat me?
Not unless you look like a cute little big-eyed woodchuck.
I'm dead.
It's gonna be wonderful for all of us, Mama. You'll see. This is a blessing in disguise.
This is easier for you, Dorothy Jane. You always dreamed of leaving the small-town life. You always believed your own personal destiny laid somewhere beyond the horizon line.
Maybe that's true for all of us, Mama. Maybe our real lives haven't even begun yet. Maybe Pyramid Corners is only a kind of way station, a limbo, purgatory, seventh ring of hell.
Are we ready, Mama?
I suppose we are, Chucky Lee. I'm sure that bus driver isn't going to wait for us to say any long goodbyes to the house. It's just a house.
Goodbye.
Just when you think you've settled down and you feel like you're almost home, just when the wheels stop spinning round, love sneaks in with a plan of its own. Love comes in unexpected places, life turns in unexpected ways. I swear we laugh at these days. Love comes in unexpected places. Life turns in unexpected ways. Just when you think you're alone, maybe we're almost home. Maybe we're almost home. Maybe we're almost home.
My mother's never really worked for anybody else before. She's always had her own little one-woman reupholstery business, and it used to be enough to get us by. Now it seems like people aren't spending as much money as they used to, at least not on reupholstery. So my mother decided to turn to doing what she knows how to do best, being a mother, professionally. No less than 3 people who attend our church had relatives to whom they wanted to recommend her services. Mr. Morgan from Seattle flew here to meet her. He seemed very impressed with how well brought up we were, which is something I have to say I've never thought much about until now. It sure makes me curious about the type of people I'm going to be meeting in the urban metropolis of Seattle, Washington, home of the Seattle Seahawks, the 1962 World's Fair, and the setting for Here Come the Brides, which I watch on cable TV, which I now have.
They have a swimming pool, and it's heated. And they have an ice maker. Ha!
Although my brother and sister have a favorable first impression of our new situation, they're too young to realize that our mother is now an employee in somebody else's house and that this might bring about some subtle change in her generally optimistic disposition.
Well, the house is quite lovely, and the children certainly seem to be enjoying themselves.
You're gonna break down, aren't you?
Uh-huh. How could I have brought my family to a place we've never been to work for people we don't really know?
Mama, this job saved our lives. We get to live in this beautiful house with a swimming pool and an ice maker. I'm sure that Mr. Morgan interviewed lots of other women. And not only did he want you, he wanted your children, too.
He thought you guys would be a positive influence on his kids.
So that's good.
Yeah, I guess. Except I can't help wondering why his kids need a positive influence.
Okay, this time, it's dangerous.
No, it's just a slightly more bizarre attempt. I give it 3 months, and they're back to the hills.
No. No, this one bothers me. This one's young and strong. It's not like Mrs. Oliver. Mrs. Martelli, Mrs. Claymore, Mrs. Connolly, Mrs. Weston.
You know, Mrs. Weston hit me once.
Did you deserve it?
I don't see where that's the issue.
This one is imported. Straight from some hole in the wall in Louisiana.
Oklahoma.
What's the difference?
One's a musical.
Hi, Molly. Hi, Gregory.
Hey, Jethro. Enjoy your little dip in the cement pond?
That's a Beverly Hillbillies reference, isn't it?
Duh-huh.
Well, then you should know that Jack Clampett came from the Appalachian Mountains, which run through the Virginias, Kentucky, and Tennessee. Whereas we come from Oklahoma. So your reference doesn't really apply, babe.
Ooh, good golly, Miss Molly. Looks like Jethro Bodine knocked you right on your butt.
No, this is okay. A little more intelligence, a little more interesting.
Hi.
Hey, don't I know you from somewhere?
Allowance day?
Dad!
Hi, Greg. How you doing, Ma?
Doing great, Dad. Good hair day. A couple college guys thought I was older than I am.
Well, you're not. I just wanted to get home early to welcome the new nanny.
You don't have to call me Nanny, ever.
Hi, you're here. How was your trip from Oklahoma?
Well, you know, 3.5 days on a bus.
Really? I've never done that.
I don't recommend it.
Well, let's see if I remember now. It's Dorothy, Jane, Chucky Lee, and Mary Sue, right?
Wow, all those names, you'd think there'd be more of them.
Yeah, y'all do have two names. Is that a family thing or just indecision?
Well, I kind of always thought of Dorothy Jane as all one name, but maybe since no one knows me here yet, I should start out as just Dorothy. What do you think, Molly?
Well, I've always been partial to Dorothy Jane myself. Of course, I could be biased, seeing as I gave you the name.
Well, Molly and you are going to be great friends. Right, Ma?
Sure, Dad.
And Gregory and Chuck, too, right?
Chuck? Chuck. Chuck Torekelson. I carry a badge.
Look, I know this is going to be strange in the beginning, but you guys have been through half a dozen different types of nannies, and none of them ever seems to work out for long.
You know, Mrs. Weston hit me once.
Mrs. Weston is 90 years old. She didn't hit you. Her cane fell on your foot.
It hit me.
Look, Daddy, I just want to be the first one to say that I think you've come up with a really good idea bringing the Torekelsons here.
You do?
Sure. You know, these people are obviously very different from us, but they seem to be a pretty polite and well-raised family. So I guess you think we can learn from this Oklahoma woman.
Well, I'm glad you've decided to give this arrangement a chance, Molly. I was afraid you might not be this flexible.
Yeah, so was I.
Me? Dad, you know me.
You know her, Dad.
Yeah, I know her. I know you both. Everybody in town knows you both. Why do you think I had to go to Oklahoma to find somebody to take this job?
Look, Daddy, I am willing to do everything that I can to make sure this works out the way it should.
And I'll help her.
Uh-huh. Well, I think we wouldn't do so badly to pick up on some of the more homey qualities that Mrs. Torekelson has instilled in her family that we don't see very much of around here.
Hey, I made some dinner. Nothing fancy. I just thought it might be nice to sit down and eat together.
You see? Right away, something new. Sitting down, eating dinner together. Oh, like a normal family. Hey, after dinner, how'd you like to wash the old man's car?
Dad, I think you're getting caught up in a moment here.
And make sure you do the wheels.
Look, I don't want to do the wheels. I don't want to be a normal family. I just can't take this kind of pressure. I think my subtle attitude was lost on him.
The oldest girl, Dorothy Jane, she's the key.
How do you figure?
She's ready to change her name. She asked if I'd show her around. These are the signs of someone who is starving for acceptance.
How can you tell that?
Don't you listen in therapy?